I am Faryn. I use fair and she/her pronouns, and I am a queer clergy person in the Aurora, Colorado area.
I'm Alyce Duckworth, and I am a member of the same church that Pastor Faryn works at. My pronouns are she/her, and I'm so happy to be here. I'm a licensed clinical social worker in the state of Colorado, and I provide therapy to people of all ages, and I specialize in trauma. So people that have experienced any level of trauma, from a minor car accident all the way up to people that have been prisoners of war and things along that line. I'm also a 9-year jiu-jitsu practitioner and lover of jiu-jitsu and teacher of self-defense.
Mm-hmm. And we want to talk to you about Fearless Future, which you might guess because this is on the page for Fearless Future. Also, gonna go ahead and mention that we both have ADHD.
Yes, you might be able to pick up on that.
It's gonna show.
Yeah. We might talk at the same time or anything like that.
Oh yeah, it's pretty clear. Yeah. So, Fearless Future. Mm-hmm. This started with us talking at a Mexican restaurant.
It did. Mm-hmm. Not far from here, actually. Yep.
Oh yeah, like right across the street. Yeah.
We both had similar passions, in fact, and that conversation turned, with a number of segues, I might say, it turned into an idea that has grown from there. That Pastor Faryn, you have adeptly named Fearless Future, an all-around holistic program for teaching self-defense.
Yeah, and specifically focused on the trans and gender expansive community, because who could use that kind of empowerment more right now? And also because I'm part of that, and we both have a really special place in our hearts for the queer community.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
And with the understanding that people who are in the trans population and the LGBTQ overall population are often victims at a higher rate of violence of all types.
Yeah. So when people show up for a self-defense class, usually they come with trauma.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say most people have some history on some level of trauma. In fact, COVID itself has now been categorized as a collective trauma that we all experience.
Yep.
I should say, not in the past.
Yeah. So if you didn't know you had trauma, surprise!
Congratulations.
Now you know.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We're all traumatized.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And people that aren't, what should I say, as accepted by society, marginalized, yeah, absolutely. They are so often traumatized at a disproportionate rate, at a much higher rate.
Yeah. And especially for the LGBTQ community, a lot of that trauma, unfortunately, has come from faith communities.
For sure.
Which is a place that really should be where we're finding support, and instead it has so often created this extra layer of trauma and isolation. And so that's one of the things we want to change. Now, to be clear, Fearless Future is not specifically like a Christian focused thing.
Right.
Certainly open to Christian community, but what we want to create is a more general, spiritually grounded community. We'll have centering practices as part of that time that we spend together, not specific to any particular religious practice. We will have some counseling that is part of what is going on as our groups. We'll be processing some of the traumas that come up, because they will. We'll be processing those together and finding ways to be empowered, not just physically, but also mentally and spiritually, so that we can find that sense of security from the inside out.
Definitely. That's a good way of putting it, from the inside out. We both know how important it is to include your whole person in any type of recovery or healing that you might partake of.
So, Alice, how can people get involved with this?
Well, for one thing, you can follow us on this page. You can also see our contact information. I assume it's going to be right here.
Yeah.
Right
So
below. No, I don't
like
know.
this video, like the page, follow us. When we will start sharing events for the group, once we have that scheduled, we'll be meeting with at the center on Colfax, and so we'll have more information about that once we get some logistics worked out. If you are an ally and you just love this idea and you want to support it, and but you don't necessarily want to be part of this group, you can support us by sponsoring one of the mats that we need for in order to be able to practice the physical part of what we're doing together. So you can find more information about that also on this Facebook page.
Exactly. And just so, if you're the type of person that likes to know kind of what to expect, like in a general ballpark at least, if you were to show up for the first group or even the second or third, we are not immediately going to be getting into serious physical defense, like, I'm going to take a weapon out of your hand. Nothing like that. A lot of what we will do at first is set the groundwork and talk a lot about what our expectations are, what everyone hopes to get from the group, and focus on some more sedentary techniques of just self inoculation, social inoculation, I think. Yeah.
I know one of the things we talk about on the page is stopping violence before it ever starts.
Right. Yes.
So my understanding is that's going to be a lot of what we do in those first sessions.
Absolutely. And as cliche and as basic as it might sound, just working on your breathing techniques. Breathing is one of the most instinctive, non-conscious things that we do on a regular basis. And it's also one of the most important things to come into regulating ourselves emotionally, physically, the whole 9 yards.
Awesome. So thanks for watching. And we hope to hear from you soon. And we really hope that we'll see some of y'all in class soon.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.